And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the semi-finals, or semi-finales here of the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, week number 86. The quarterfinals did just wrap up, and we already have our semi-finalists ready for us. Let's go. Spawning in the bottom-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg for Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran for Team Liquid. It is Cure. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our ZVT. Once again, Cure, he did take down Creator, went all the way to the ace match, went all the way to the late game as well, but Cure did take down Creator 2-1. Meanwhile, the Beyond versus Nightmare series again is happening over on Enki's channel in Spanish. En español, papi. Sí. Does have you covered there. Otherwise, we're focusing on our own semifinals match, bearing in mind that both semifinals are going to be happening at the same time. They're not held. They are not held one after the other. They are played concurrently instead. So there is a chance that we might just follow this series straight into the finals. It depends on the length of this match. It depends on the length of the southern semifinals match as well, the lower match. But here we go. Here we go. So far, Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of Solar, meanwhile standard opener out of Cure as well. No proxies, no shenanigans. Welcome to the Old Republic. Welcome to our ZVT as well. Now, when it comes to our players coming into this, Solar, he has at this point, I would say, cemented himself as the best Zerg player in South Korea. There was a power vacuum that was kind of created when Dark went to the military, and it was kind of open for Rogue, for Shin, for Solar. Those are the three other active Zerg players in South Korea, and in the end, Solar did rise up amongst them. How did he do so? With aggression. So it was a really nice way to kind of step in for Dark. Was we saw a lot of all-ins, a lot of aggression out of Solar, especially in ZVP and in ZvZ. Against Terran, less so. We'll get into it. But against the other matchups, we saw Solar be hyper aggressive and very mid-game oriented, and very rarely going into a macro game. Very rarely. And Solar, he found a lot of success. He kind of rose up through the ranks amongst the other players, of course, to the point where he's even going toe-to-toe against players like Clem, like Maru, like Max Pax, for example, as well, in a more aggressive style. Meanwhile, here we are in a ZVT, which is a little bit different. Here against Terran, we have been seeing Zerg players kind of open up and kind of embrace different kind of styles in recent times. Back in the day, a year ago, as the drone goes down, massive pick up of Cure. Very nice start here from our Terran player, delaying the third base quite heavily, and shouldn't delay it any longer. But when it comes to this matchup, a year ago it was all about roach openers. Roach play was the go-to, was the standard. I would say it was a very negative aspect of ZVT, and thankfully that is no longer the case. With the buff to the Baneling, and now Ling Bane is more viable. It's much more viable to open up with. As a result, it opens up Ling Bane into Muta play as well. That is also more viable in this matchup. Or Ling Bane into Ultras, Roaches into Roach Ravager Ling Bane, or Ling Bane into Hydra Tech. So now there's a lot more options available. When it comes to certain builds that have been rising in popularity, we spoke a lot about the aggression of Solar. We have been seeing some fast Hydra builds as of late. From Solar, from Shin, from all the Korean Zerg players, there is a 3-base Hydra all-in that both Shin and Solar have been very fond of, that I do expect to see at some point in the series. And depending on the vetoes, of course. As Curious poking in behind this, going for his 3cc before Starport into early Viking. Oh, hello. Viking is going to be on the way. Now, we spoke a little about Solar. What about Cure? Cure, likewise, he's one of the best Terran players in South Korea. I think I would say he's top 2 in Korea. He's top 2 alongside Maru. I would place Cure above Beyond when it comes to every matchup, actually. So Cure, the thing about Cure though is that he's not as bombastic, he's not as popular as Beyond. I would say that Beyond has a greater fan base. Beyond, he's a little bit more charismatic. Cure less so. Cure, he's like an innovation almost, like where he's a little bit more emotionless. He's kind of less vocal and less active even when it comes to offline events, and as a result, he just, he's here to play StarCraft, to do well, to excel, and he does. Oh, as we do have Layer First out of Solar. Gases are being taken. We did just mention how there has been a rise in popularity of 3-base Hydra all-ins, so we'll see if Solar's heading in that direction. We'll keep an eye on his follow-up tech. Cure, he is willing to mix in mech. He does mix in mech against Protoss and against Zerg. Here it's going to be a bio follow-up, but Solar's going to be in the dark. Again, that is the purpose, ideally, of the Viking. As Overlords are being hunted down, and Solar, he doesn't see much. He did see the racks, though. Okay. He saw 2 racks on the way. He saw the resource on the Banshee, on the starport. So Solar knows. He knows it's bio, and he knows there are Banshees. So Solar is getting ready. A double Evo chamber behind this, so it is not going to be a rush into Hydras or Mutas. It's going to be a lair first, into double upgrades, into... Are we skipping Banelings? There is a build that I'm not very fond of that Raynor has been popularizing, and with mixed success. That has been Ling into Infestor into Ultra, where you just skip Banelings, skip Hydras, and skip Mutas. It's very risky. Range? Wait, did I miss something? Where's the Hydra then? Okay. You have my attention. Range on the way. Let's go. So it looks like this is... did we forget the Hydra den? Like, it looks like this should be with Hydras, but we should not forget the Hydra upgrades. So Hellions are looking for a way in. Like, we have the money for tech. We got the money for it. We got the excess gas. There it is. It's late. There's the Hydra den. And it gets seen immediately. It does get spotted. But again, it is a late den, and now we throw it on the Baneling nest as well. Again, this is going to be a Hydra heavy style, but because the den is so late, the upgrades for the Hydra's speed and range are going to be delayed. I will slow this down. Security is moving out, getting ready for his own 7-minute push. He's got 1 tank, he's got his Marines. I believe there's an armory with this. No armory. Okay. No armory, no Hellbats. From here, he's just applying pressure and potentially taking down the 4th base. We'll see if he can break through. This isn't meant to kill the 4th, but if it does, will be a bonus. Doing a creep. Confirming the Hydra production. Lings, they go for a backstab. Banshees, I believe, are trying to get across the map. Lings are dealt with. We can focus on the push. But as time goes on, this move is getting weaker and weaker. Cure, he has to be careful. He's going to try to reinforce. He's still pushing across the map. Can he get the queens? No quite. Yeah, queens, they do get away. Cure committing in. Sorry, Solar committing in. Bleeds out all his Zerglings. No Banelings to defend. The Mass Marine can just stim in. Yeah, he can stim. He can win without Banelings. What is it to stop the Bio army? Like, Cure can just A-move. Wait, just send it, Pappy. Send it. Stim in. Have some confidence. Banelings are now on the way. No. Yeah, he's playing it safe. There was opportunity here. But you can see he's scared of a surround. Like, he's terrified of a surround instead. But alas, there's only going to be, what, 3 Banelings? We got some decent connections. But not enough. Yeah, there's not enough. And from here forward, Cure, he breaks through the main army. Tries to, at least once again, he's terrified of a surround. Lings, they do catch one of the tanks. There's 1 tank left. Yeah, 1 tank remaining. Baneling does crash in. And Solar holds. Yeah, Solar, he does hold on. Despite only having a handful of Banelings, they did connect. And Solar, he cleans up the army. Again, there was definitely opportunity there for Cure. He failed to break through. He lost far too much. And now Solar's overwhelming. Solar, he's starting to overwhelm. We got the Hive on the way. We got the Lurker Den on the way as well. Again, Cure, he missed his window. He missed it. The window closed. He was just a little bit too tentative, a little bit too passive. And now Solar's getting out of hand. Solar, he's snowballing out of control. He's now getting another expansion, getting a 6th base on the way. Getting up to 6 bases, 89 drones, Hive, Lurkers, all the tech, all the upgrades. Cure, he's desperate for damage. But the reality is he has no momentum. He has no momentum, not anymore. And it's going to be a tough hold. It's going to be a very difficult defensive Acura. We're just essentially waiting for Solar to max. So Solar, he's just going to chill, maxing out, taking more bases, spreading more creep. Solar's just securing himself. Yeah, he has to commit. But it's going to be a very difficult engage here for Cure. Solo does go for the runway instead. Okay. Solo going for the counterattack. Hydra's they're in position. Banelings as well. Lings, they wreak havoc. That's going to be 13 SCVs. And 13 dead SCVs. Solo's trying to hold on. Hatchery's getting low, but Lurkers, now they're coming into play. We already have Lurker range. Another big counterattack. Solo does catch reinforcements. Yeah, catching out Marines, now going for the planetary. Oh my god. Yeah, massive connections. Planetary looks like may survive. Oh god, never mind. 19 dead SCVs. Planetary does live. But again, Curie's running out of money, he's running out of workers. He's trying to push his way in, but now there are lurkers that can defend. So once again, tanks are slowly gaining ground, trying to at least take out the lightning clouds. Yeah, massive connections, lightning cloud here on the bio, on the tanks as well. Lurkers are pushing in. Oh, they clumped up. Okay, lurkers are exposed. Curie, he can pull this off. Can he get on top of the lurkers? How many left? 2. Yeah, only 2 lurkers remaining. Solar, he's being broken. A very close hold. Here comes the Unsiege. Both lurkers go down, and Cure, he breaks through. He's done it. Oh my god. He breaks through the main army. He takes down both lurkers against, again, that push out that we saw from Solar. He just lost too much. He lost 7 lurkers, and he was out of range. Cure snowballing out of control. There's no lurkers left. There's 1 Viper, 1 Blinding Cloud. It's a very messy defense here for Solar. Very messy, but the tanks survive. That's all that matters. Oh, I say that. Ooh, tank goes down. Catching a 1, 2, 3 tank kills. Very nice snipes. Catching out tanks. More links are trickling in. The final tanks go down. Solar, he barely holds on, barely survives. There just was no buffer for the tanks. And that's when the low economy kicks in, right? That's when less minerals, less resources, less marines. Lack of bio there did kill Cure. And Solar sure lost an expansion, but what's terrifying is that Solar still is on 82 drones. So 80 workers. It was a messy defense here for Solar for sure, but he held. He held on, but he held on back. SCVs are replaceable with copium. I mean, Solar's max. Solar, he's maxed out. At this point, Solar, he has gained map control. He can now start to be the aggressor. Yeah, collapsing in from multiple angles. Vipers as well. Blinding Cloud not quite catching the tanks, but still does overwhelm. Does overwhelm the main army. Now fixated on the CC. And it's just been an uphill battle here for Cure. Again, losing his economy, losing his workers. His defense pack alone was just too poor. And now we're coming in for the surround. Up. Collapsing on the tanks. 1, 2 tanks. Once again pushing through. Going for the planetary. Gets into the mineral line once again for the second time. Massive connections. And this time kills the base. This time kills the expansion. 18 dead SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. GG gets called, and Solar takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Solar does take a lead in the series. Again, winding it back, a little bit came down to the counterattacks. We saw Solar snipe at 2 mineral lines, one with the Ling run by at the 3rd, and then the Baneling run by at the 4th base. And even though Secure, he was able to, I mean, he did have a strong army to work with, he couldn't reinforce the army because he had to rebuild the SCVs, he had less of economy to work with as well. Imagine a world where he didn't lose those workers, then he could reinforce and rally across the map with all his might, and that would have been enough. That could have been enough to break Solar, but without that economy, without those reinforcements, without that production, GG. GG, well played. He ran out of steam towards the end, did run out of bio, and with that, Solar takes game number 1. Solar does take game 1. As now we're loading the game number us. We'll see if Kira can bounce back, if he can recover. And again, I believe he can. Like, that last game was very close, so definitely some moments there for Kira. Definitely moments. We'll see if we can bring it back. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Team Falcons. Leading the series 1-0, it is Solar. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran for Team Liquid. It is Kyor. Here we go. Again, I'm still thinking about that moment when Kure was pushing at the 7-minute mark. I think he reinforced at around 7:30, 8 minutes when he pushed in towards the center expansion. And when we pointed out that Solar had no Banelings. He had 0 Banelings. He had purely Ling Queen Hydra defense. And Kure had a massive amount of bio. He had 3 tanks. But if you remember, Kure was terrified. He was paranoid about a Ling run by. So he was only attacking with half his army. The other half was staying back to make sure the tanks didn't get surrounded. But there was no surround. There was no surround. There was no potential for a surround. Kure just didn't know, right? He didn't know. He kind of misjudged the situation. He played it too safe. He played it too carefully, and it allowed Solar to buy enough time to get his Banelings up and running, to build up a defense, to build up an army. So again, there were definitely some missed moments, some missed opportunities there for Kure. We'll see if we can tighten up. See if we can tighten up that. Solar is moving out. Behind this hatch gas pool, standard open out of Solar. And welcome to Winter Madness. Winter Madness is another one of these larger maps, longer rush distance by grounds. We'll see if Kure goes to the same approach or if he does adjust. As I mentioned before, Kure, he's one of the players that is willing to play mech against Zerg. Is willing. So we'll see if he does take the opportunity this game. For those who remember, for those that were there for it, Home Story Cup, it was what now, 2 weeks ago at this point, a week and a half ago. It was Gabe. Big Gabe did actually knock Cyril out of the tournament 3 games in a row, or let's say 3 games in a row, 3 games in that series with mech, all 3 games. Did mech it up against Cyril. Did knock him out of the tournament. Do you recommend the VODs? You missed out. So we'll see if Kure does likewise embrace it here, or if he goes into bio again. Even if so, we could see like different variations, of course. Reaper does poke in. Pokes in, pulls away. It's going to be a 3rd CC before Starport. Economic build out of Kure, 2 games in a row. Everything looking as it should be. As the Starport, last game we did see Cloak Banshee out of Kure after the Viking, but the Banshees didn't really find much damage. It wasn't very worth it. So we could see Kure go back into Banshee again, or try to go into earlier stim. Might even skip the Viking this time. Reaper zoned away. Oh, once again, Viking first. Okay, you have my attention. So, exact same opener as last game. Going 3 CC before Banshee, also 3 CC before Starport into Viking. Again, we had the same opener last game. Last game, this led into an add-on swap into Cloak Banshee. We're also setting up for another add-on swap. Of course, the advantage of this build is that Solar's going to be playing blind. Solar, he should not be aware of the follow-up, as the first Overlord is found. Does hunt down the Overlord. Cloak is being researched. We have the bio follow-up. 2 more maxes, no factories. Let's go. No extra factories, I mean. And once again, Solar is going lair first. Lair first out of Solar. Last game, this was lair first into double Evo Chamber into a delayed Hydra Den. Muted play is, I would say, viable here on Winter Madness. It is definitely an option. So I don't want to take that off the table yet. We'll keep an eye on the gases. And yep, there it is, double Evo Chamber. Same build. At least so far. We're just settling into game 2. Gases are being taken and getting up to all 6 gases. That's a lot of gas. Getting to our 1-1 upgrades. So at this point, we're expecting +1 range. There's Carapace. We have the money for range or melee. Nah, not anymore. And this time, a much faster Hydra Den. If you remember, we were critical in game 1 of how late the Hydra Den was, because it was 1-1 upgrades, and then we waited like an extra minute before getting the Hydra Den. It was just so late. This time, it's on time, right? This time, it's as we expect. Solo was banking resources last game. This time, he is not. So the Hydra Den is on time. We have a Balin Nest as well. This tells me that the initial defense from Solar against a 7-minute push should be stronger. Should be crisper. So Hydras are amassing. I feel like Solar and Soul play Zerg almost completely differently. I think for the most part that is true. Yeah. I don't know if I would say almost completely, but for sure. Like Cyril, he's traditionally a lot more safer in how he plays ZVT. A lot safer. A lot more macro oriented. I would say that Solar is like a midpoint between Cyril and Raynor. Where Raynor, he's a little more active, he's a little more aggressive, he's a little more chaotic. And like Solar's like somewhere in between the two. He's But here we go. Again, getting into those Hydra upgrades. Once again, getting to +1 range. As you mentioned, this has been a much more trendy style as of late. Prioritizing Hydras. As Marines, they do wander in, denying some creep. So he has to be patient. Oh, heavy supply block though. 5 overlords on the way. Ay. Yeah, big supply block. This time there's an armory. This time we have some Hellblaster support. Cure rotating over, keeping up with his army. Denying the Ling run by. Or at least keeping up with it. Oh. Yeah, nice rotation. Banelings are amassing. This time a lot more Banelings. This does feel like a cleaner defense, but it comes down to the engage. Here's moving in. So far, he hasn't gone within range of any of the bases. Not yet. Solo waiting for his reinforcements. 28 more Lings on the way. And I believe this tank is within range. Yep, it's within range of the Nexus. Or the hatchery. Oh, the expansion. Solo going to try to collapse in. Takes down the bio initially. Can he break through the Hellbats? He can. Yeah, Hellbats are going down. There's one tank left in the back line. Marines, they stim in. We need more Lings. It's close. Yeah, very close defense. Lings, they trickle in, and Solar holds. Whew. Solar, he does hold on. He reset the tank count. And Cure expands. Cure is getting a 4th CC. Again, it was a very close hold, but Solar, he did not lose any drones. Drones did survive. The expansion survived as well. Cure is still rallying. He's playing with fire. Is on creep. Has to be careful. Yeah, Solar collapsing in. Catching at the Marines. A bit of an awkward engage here out of Solar. The choke point working against him. Yeah, he did not flank. Very awkward engage. Cure, I would say, taking a better fight. And this is getting dangerous. It is getting dangerous here. Queens, they all come together. They have their chance to use. One of the tanks is on siege. Not a bad engage. Gets 2. Takes on 2 tanks. Pulls away. Building on more Lings. Behind this, the Hive is on the way. Lurker Den as well. Solar he just has to buy time for his Lurkers. And then he can slow this down. Just needs a little bit more time. Solar, he's almost there. Gasito. Lurker Den is done. As things, they do catch some reinforcements. Getting us up with the tank. And catching up Marines. Meanwhile, the southern expansion is going to fall. Curie kills the 5th. And Solar, he backs up. He backs up, he pulls away, just waiting for more upgrades. No Lurkers yet. Solar is up against the wall. Again, momentum can shift once Lurkers hit the field, but they're not here yet. Cure still rallying. Solar trying to dive on said tank. Oof, not quite able to do so. Nice spread here by Cure. Very nice tank positioning. He does catch one of the tanks. Solar does get 1. Here come the Lurkers. 5 Lurkers morphing in. Tanks are getting within range of the gas geyser. Oof. Still no good position here for Solar. At the same time going for a run by. If you remember, one of the reasons why Cure, he was kind of cut at the legs and kind of cut off at the legs in the last game were the run bys. Right? Ling run bys, Ling counterattacks, mainly run bys as well. Getting 2 mineral lines. That has not happened this game. This is a Cure that can just rally across. Lurkers do punish. Nice Blinding Clouds. Very nice. Catching up both tanks. And nice defense at the same time. Ooh, there are defensive tanks at the planetary. Nice setup at the Cure. Ooh, Lurkers are being focused down. Nice target firing. Gets 1, gets 2. 2 Lurkers go down. Messy defense here by Solar. Running down to the low ground, and it looks like Solar will barely hold on here, but again, a messy defense. Cleans up the tanks. He's holding on, Bappy. At the same time, getting pulled apart. Solar giving up on the expansion. He kind of hold on to it. Thankfully, he does have bottom left. True. So let's have another base up and running. Solar, he can keep up. Did the Viper survive? Yes, there's 1 Viper. 1 Viper full of energy. But again, you can see just how powerful these pushes are compared to the last game. As Cure has not lost, he has not lost any SCVs. As he's forcing his way in. Now incorporating Marauders. 2nd Viper's on the way. Ling Rabbi doesn't achieve too much. The tanks are within range. Uh-oh. Oh, they're scared. No. The tanks are within range. Even still. As tanks, they do outrange the lurkers. They bully them back. This is where Vipers are necessary. The tanks are a little bit stacked. Here come the Blinding Clouds. Yeah, covering all 4 tanks. Ling Bane rushes in. And a very nice engagement by Solar, shutting down all 5 tanks. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, the best fight that Solar could hope for. Does catch all the tanks. Lurkers are good for a counterattack instead. Rotate to the top side. There are ghosts in position. Has to be careful. No cloak though. No cloak for the ghosts. Nidus into the main. Cure, he failed to kill Solar before lurkers. He failed to do so. Army does collapse in. Another tank goes down. Nidus Swarm does finish in the main. Yeah, no reactions. No reactions here out of Cure. He's being torn apart. The attention is not there. He has no attention, Pappy. The lunkers. Yeah, lurkers are popping off. Getting within range of the ghost. Gotta be going for cloak. The academy. Yeah, the academy's under fire. Tanks are going down, and Cure is just completely torn apart here. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, nice save on some of the lurkers. Ghost Academy did full, which means cloak did not finish. Cloak was denied for the ghosts. Cloak was denied. I just say push in and getting on top of another CC. And again, just really patient play there out of Solar. Yes, he did lose an expansion here and there. Yes, he was forced back into further bases, but again, it was all just about buying time, right? It was just about buying time, surviving until lurker attack. He got there back. So again, very patient, very impressive defense there from Solar. As another base goes down, another mineral line. The Cure, he did have momentum at times, but unfortunately, he just was unable to push in towards the natural. Unable to push in. I feel like a big part of this as well, actually, now that I think about it, was this expansion. Bottom left. This base would have been a free kill, but Cure didn't check. He didn't check, and as a result, even though, because remember, Cure, he knocked down the center 4th base and the top 5th base as well. He knocked down both expansions, but there was a full base up and running, bottom left, the entire time. And Cure, he didn't know. Yeah, he didn't know, he didn't check, didn't realize. Este Cure. If this base was denied earlier, if it never got up and running, then no shot Solo could have kept up. Especially with how close the defense was. True. Again, that was a big moment for Solar. Ling run by here at the 4th base. And Curie's punished. He's punished for it, Pappy. Ay, ay, ay. And with that Solar, he's shilling. He's maxed out. So I'll turn this game around quick. Yeah, the momentum swings very, very quickly. If the Zerg player can successfully defend and stay on like a 5-base economy and get into hive tech, like whether it's the arrival of the lurkers or whether it's ultras, like depending on which kind of tech path you're going for, like momentum can swing very heavily, especially because Cure was stuck on a mid-tier army, right? He was caught like mid-transition into ghosts. You saw that the ghost upgrades didn't even finish. Like he was still kind of working on that. He was heavily reliant on just keeping Solar contained. But remember, he failed to do so, right? Like, the bases got up and running unseen. Another mineral line goes down. We're going for the final push, the final kill. As Curie pulls back to his tanks, trying to make his last stand. Nice knives. He's doing what he can, Pappy. That's 32 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. "32 SCVs. Punishing the lurkers. It does punish. Here come the Ling reinforcements. Catching up the army. Hydra's they lunge forward. And again, this is the final fight for Cure. The final army. GG gets called, and Solar will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations, Solar. He does claim the series. A very intense defense there by Solar. Very, very intense. As we were emphasizing, Cure, he was doing well for himself. He killed the center 4th expansion. He was able to kill the northern base as well. He was knocking down expansions. He was denying mining. But as we tried to emphasize, he did not notice that Solar had double expanded. And he had actually expanded over towards the left-hand side as well. And that base was left untouched. It was unseen. Cure didn't know about it. So when Cure rotated away from the low ground onto the northern side of the map, then Solar, he just transferred. He just main knighted over, got that base up and running as quickly as possible, and was able to enjoy himself a greater economy, a stronger economy than Cure thought he had. So because of that, Cure didn't have the lead that he otherwise was hoping for. He was hoping he was containing and starving Solar out. Well, that wasn't the case. GG. GG, well played. With that, Solar does claim the series, and we have our first finalist. Let's go. Let us go. Let us check on the brackets.